Okay, Unit 1, Mastering the Thesis. What you're doing in this week, in a nutshell, is you're writing your thesis and outline on a topic that you choose from the list that I'm going to present to you. So this week is due the thesis and outline of an essay on that topic. Next week is due the actual essay on that topic. During that time, between this week and next week, you're going to be writing and revising, fine-tuning your thesis and your outline. So that is what we're doing in a nutshell. Choosing a topic, writing a thesis and outline, and hopefully use that same thesis and outline for an essay that you're going to write next week. Okay, to prepare for writing this essay next week, this week you're going to engage in what is called pre-writing. Pre-writing is everything you do to get ready to write. And it is where most student writers go wrong. Without spending enough time in pre-writing, you are kind of condemning, dooming your writing effort to mediocrity or less failure. All good things come with planning, and that includes a good essay. So let's talk about some of the things that I want you to pay particular attention to during this pre-writing stage. One of the most important goals of your pre-writing is something that you're going to do before you write any academic essay, and that is indeed what we're practicing in this course. You're practicing the academic essay. You're not reading literature. You're not writing narrative short stories. You're not writing poetry. You're not discussing it. Your goal in this course is to learn how to do one thing and one thing only, and that is write the essays, the assignments that you will be given in future courses at the school. And that pre-writing of that essay, regardless of what course it's in, begins with this thing right here, your thesis statement. You may have heard it called other things, a controlling idea, a central focus, a main argument, your personal point of view, your slant. All of those words boil down to one thing and one thing only. The overall point that you're trying to make in your writing. You state that point in your thesis, which is a sentence in your introduction paragraph, and then you spend the rest of the essay trying to prove you're right. That is college academic writing in a nutshell. You state your position on the topic in the introduction as a thesis statement, and then you spend the rest of the essay proving you're right. Now, I want you to follow a particular formula when writing your essay. So let's take a look at that. Of course, step one is going to be to choose a topic. And as you can see, there are 10 different topics here. You do not have to use any of these 10 topics. You can choose any topic on which you have a strong opinion. A modern hero, the internet, huge part of our lives. The life changes, you're all adults, so you have been through certain life changes. Self-employment versus selling yourself to the man. Elder care, we're probably all at an age where we're having to think about the care of our parents or maybe grandparents. Class reunions, we're probably all at the age where we've been invited to one or two or three if we're old enough. Mass shootings, unfortunately, a commonplace episode in our society. Okay, that's step one. Step two. Step two is to follow this formula as you write what's called a strong thesis. A strong thesis is simply one that expresses a clearly held, clearly stated personal point of view. Whether that point of view is on a topic you might get in criminal justice, prison overcrowding, you will need to state a personal point of view on prison overcrowding and justify it with knowledge that you have learned in that course. You might be in education, so you might be given the topic standardized testing. So you have to formulate a clear, rational, defensible point of view or thesis on standardized testing if you are in education. If you're in healthcare, you might be given the topic living wills. You've got to formulate a clear point of view or opinion on living wills as a healthcare professional. So that's what a strong thesis is. Now here's some examples of it. Here's the formula. The formula is, first you write down the topic. As you can see, this student chose the first topic, a modern hero. Write it down. Then you write down your completion of this sentence that you say in your head. You say to yourself in your head, I, David Taylor, I, Stephanie, I, Carlin, I, George, I, whatever your name is. I, David, believe a modern hero is, and then you complete that statement. And however you complete that statement, it's an opinion, because you're saying, I believe. I, David Taylor, believe a modern hero can be found every day of the week by looking at the people around us. And so I would look at the common everyday hero, the woman in Michigan who interrupted a gang beating. She's a hero. She's also just a nurse. The parent whose child was just diagnosed with terminal cancer. That parent, maybe that child, is a hero because now they have to struggle against fear and fight for their lives. So I think we can find examples of heroism all around us. That's my answer. That's my point of view. This student wrote a modern hero. So the student said, I, student so-and-so, believe a modern hero is, and she wrote Barack Obama. That's fine. Because remember, I teach composition. I do not teach political science, criminal justice, health, education, human resources, IT. I do not teach a subject. I teach a skill. And so I never care what your opinions are. You can have any opinion in this class you wish. This is an opinion-free zone. All I care about is you following the formulas that I'm going to give to you, and that you write in a clear, effective way, regardless of what your topic and opinion on that topic is. Now, the last part of the formula is you combine the words of the topic with the words of your opinion, and you get your thesis. So here you take the words about hero. America's most noted hero today is Barack Obama, the opinion. Or you can flip-flop it. If A equals B, B equals A. You can put the opinion first. Barack Obama is, now the words of the topic, America's most noted hero today, modern hero. You could have said Barack Obama is America's modern hero. You could have said America's modern hero is Barack Obama. Both of those are perfect thesis statements. So notice the following thing. A thesis statement is short, and a thesis statement is a complete sentence. And a thesis statement contains the words of the topic put together with the words of your opinion. Let's do another one. Here, this student chose the internet. Then the student said, I, David Taylor, believe that the internet uh, has revolutionized our relationships with each other. So now I would go and prove that in my essay. That's my opinion. This student wrote, I, a student, believe the internet is on balance not harmful. Okay. Another student could have said, I believe on balance the internet is harmful. It doesn't matter as long as you have an opinion. Then you combine the words of the topic with the words of the opinion. The internet, words of the topic, on balance, the opinion is not harmful to our society. So that's the formula for the thesis. Write down the topic, write down your completion of the sentence. I believe the following about the topic, and then combine them together. Now, step number 3. Step number 3 is to test your thesis. In other words, to have a valid thesis, you must be able to defend it with at least 3 main points. If you can defend that thesis with at least 3 main points, it is a valid thesis. So let's take a look. The thesis is, today's modern hero is Barack Obama. Can you defend that with 3 distinct main points? Let's take a look. First, Barack Obama is a hero because he overcame childhood obstacles to achieve an education. Second, Barack Obama is a hero because he faces racial hatred every day. Third, Barack Obama is a hero because he won the battle for the Affordable Health Care Act. Okay. This student has just proven that she has a legitimate thesis statement because it can be supported by 3 different, distinct topic sentences. I want you to notice something else about those topic sentences. They all begin the same, except the number of the word changes. First, Barack Obama is a hero because. Second, Barack Obama is a hero because. Third, Barack Obama is a hero because. Notice how they all begin the same. They all contain the words of the topic, the words of the topic, hero, and the words of the opinion, Barack Obama. And they are all numbered, first, second, third. That's called the expository essay formula. It's a formula that you must use in every essay that you write in this class. It also happens to be the test of a valid thesis statement. And it also happens to be the beginning of an outline that you have to turn in. Remember, for every paper that you turn in this class, you must also turn in an outline.